Hi there, everyone. A very good evening to you. Happy Saturday. I hope it is starting well for you. We had a gorgeous start to the day, lots of sunshine, and now clouds are back in the forecast, and soon we will have rain here within the next, already the first few drops of rain falling across metro Atlanta, but the more substantial rain probably within the next 2 to 3 hours. Again, if you are just joining, thank you for tuning in. I am Cutter Martin, meteorologist here at Atlanta News First. Thanks for tuning in. Might be watching across many different platforms, atlantanewsfirst.com, in the news app, weather app, Roku device, Amazon Fire Stick. We're live in many places right now, including two in particular where you can ask your weather questions, address any comments, concerns you have with the forecast, and that is going to be on Facebook at Atlanta News First, also on YouTube, Atlanta News First. You can follow both accounts to be alerted to whenever we are live, or you can just go there now and ask your weather questions or have any of your forecast concerns addressed. In fact, let's take a peek before we get too deep into the forecast right now. You're taking a gander at the Atlanta News First Facebook page. We already have a comment coming in, a few folks watching. Ann Throckmorton saying a lot of folks will be traveling back in whatever weather we have. That is true, but the good news, Ann, is that the rain is mainly tonight and early tomorrow morning. So by 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, rain is out of the picture, and we actually have a stunning Sunday. In fact, for much of the drive time Sunday, it is looking absolutely gorgeous, but we do have rain tonight and early tomorrow morning. We'll take you to first alert radar right now. A little bit of moisture moving through Midtown, downtown, West Midtown portion of Atlanta inside I-285. It's on the southeast side now, Forest Park, building into DeKalb County. Just south of Stone Mountain, south of Decatur proper, south of Pine Lake, but you could get a little spritz or two, just a little bit of moisture here over the next 30 minutes. But let's expand that view, and you'll notice that we do have much more moisture to our west. So notice the rain moving in, Birmingham, Montgomery, up into Huntsville, Alabama. All of this is going to be building off to the north and to the east over the next, few hours. So very quickly, the weather is going to transition to widespread rain, embedded downpours, perhaps a rumble or two of thunder as we get into the overnight hours. For now, just sprinkles, but I do, think that rain will really increase here as we approach the 11 p.m. and the midnight hour. Again, a lot of folks watching on YouTube right now. Thank you for watching, everybody commenting in. And we're streaming on Facebook. So if you do have any plans tomorrow, you're concerned about the morning rain, and you need that forecast clarified any further, feel free to navigate over to our YouTube account, Atlanta News First, and Atlanta News First on Facebook. We are live right now, here to answer your questions as they come in. Tanya Belcher saying, what is the drought for Georgia? Is it good or bad? We have been battling drought on and off all year long. We'll take you to a live look at radar now, and I'll let you know that we actually do still have some abnormally dry conditions across portions of North Georgia, but we have seen some improvement over the past several days. In fact, I'm going to pull it up visually for you. Hey there, Nina Duck, watching on Facebook. There's a view of the feed for you. Trenton Martin, hello to you as well. Jumping back to radar. I'm going to pull up that drought monitor because that is a good question. Again, a question coming in from our YouTube stream, Tanya Belcher. I'm going to pull up the drought monitor right now, show you the latest look, and you can see there is still drought across the region. Moderate drought, severe drought, in particular along and east of 75 to 85 corridor. This does not factor in yesterday's rain, and of course it has not factored in the rain that has yet to fall this evening and overnight tonight. So we are still dry. It's the time of year where everything naturally goes dormant. So we've already had frosts and freezes. The grass is already fairly brown. Plants and trees losing their leaves. So it's a little bit harder to see drought, so to speak, this time of year, but certainly we are still drier than average there. But this recent switch to some wetter weather is certainly helping with that, and this rain is needed there, Tanya. That's a very good question, and I do think that it will help benefit the drought across the region, meaning that it'll help knock it back just a bit. Hello to you, Trent. Fist bump right back to you. Hello there, Nina. I know what you mean, Nina. Good evening to you as well. I hope it's going well. Let's jump back to radar. Taking a live look at where it's raining right now. We have quite a bit of moisture, but so far the steadiest rain has been along and west of the Alabama state line, but I think here very quickly that is going to change. We'll start with a tight look at metro Atlanta. Notice how we do have a little bit of moisture here moving through the heart of the metro city of Atlanta. Really just sprinkles at this point. Backing up radar, though, we're tracking some rain. The first round of steadier stuff moving into our far western viewing area at Cleburne and Randolph counties in Alabama. Wedowee, Alabama, good evening to you. Folsom, Roanoke, and then on up towards Heflin and Fruithurst. Rain, steadier rain, is to your west. In fact, I'm going to switch radar modes, give you all a better view, and you can see just how much rain there is to our west. All of this is going to be moving through overnight. Tonight, initially it'll start as light to moderate rain, but you do see these embedded little downpours, especially on the backside of this big slug of moisture. This will all be moving to the north and east overnight tonight into the early portion of tomorrow morning. Some more forecast questions coming in on Facebook. Ryan Laird asking about McDonough tomorrow on Facebook. And Tanya said, so is a drought? Can we see fire with the bad drought? Tanya, you can have fire almost any time of year, Tanya, but, it's possible, yes, and certainly fire conditions are made worse by the drought and by the time of year. Everything's dormant, it's dried out. Certainly wildfires are possible, but it's not an extreme threat. It's certainly not a threat tonight with higher humidity, more moisture around, even though we do have those breezy winds. But Tanya, certainly this time of year and with drought, there would be an elevated risk of wildfires and fires, breaking out in woods and woodland and grassland fires, open air fires, so to speak. So certainly that risk is there, which is why it's good that we're starting to see some rain out there. So Ryan, jumping back to your question, we will go back to forecast radar here. We'll give you the hour by hour. Again, most of tomorrow is going to be gorgeous. I know we're going to wake up to some rain, but after that, it's stunning. So taking it back to right now, forecast model doing a good job. Temps upper 50s, lower 60s, lots of clouds. McDonough, not on this particular map, but you have an idea where it is, kind of in that Atlanta, Griffin, and Covington triangle right there in the middle. And notice how you do have rain by 10, 11, midnight, enough to wet the streets. Kind of a drizzly sort of rain on the south side McDonough, but really up to Blairsville, Gainesville, Canton, and Atlanta proper as well by midnight, 1 o'clock. Wet streets, a drizzle, light rain falling. Here comes some heavier showers, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m. Sunday. It is going to be pouring in spots. Could be a couple of thunderstorms embedded within this. The risk of severe weather is very, very low. But it's been breezy this evening. You may not have been out in a while, but it is breezy. And it will be locally windy with these downpours. Not only briefly heavier rain, some thunder, some lightning, but the winds will kick up a notch or so as these downpours, if they do impact your neighborhood. Notice how it is pouring 6:30, maybe 7 a.m. in Atlanta, but by 8 o'clock, it's already east of McDonough. It's already east of Covington. It's tapering off in Athens. It is east of Gainesville, east of Blairsville, Rome, Carrollton, Wedowee, Alabama, LaGrange, Tripp and Heard counties back across the Georgia state line. It's already sunny and clearing out and stunning, really nice, not that cold. 8 o'clock in the morning Sunday, and here comes a gorgeous afternoon. We're going to have a lot of sun there late morning, early afternoon, with temperatures soaring quickly into the 60s, and I think shooting up to about 70 tomorrow, with some clouds building back in, at least trying to do so in the afternoon. We will see how that goes. It's a little tough to forecast when clouds will return, but I do think there's going to be a decent amount of sunshine tomorrow. And then on into our Monday, we're going to have some more clouds back in the forecast. I would call it partly to mostly cloudy on our Monday, mainly in the morning, and then seeing a little bit more sunshine as we get into the afternoon. But certainly after the downpours, the rain, the thunder and lightning, and a few spots tonight to tomorrow morning, it will be improving. Lizzie Fortner watching from Brookhaven. Ryan Laird saying starting to rain now here, windy. Ryan, thanks for the report. Yeah, we're going to keep the breezy weather, the windy weather overnight tonight. In fact, it's probably going to get a little breezier overnight, and we'll be very windy with a couple of these storms. Lots of leaves coming down considering the time of year. And then a little breezy, but nice tomorrow after that rain moves east early in the morning. Clark Vanessa on Facebook. Again, we're chatting Atlanta News First, the main account. Also, we are watching on YouTube, and Tanya has another question. Tanya Belcher, how high is the wind going to be? I have light outside of my house. It is going to be breezy, winds gusting, 20 to 30, kind of as an average across the board. And then it's possible that in those downpours, there could be some gusts up to about 40. Those are not severe wind gusts, but if you have the inflatable Santa up, if you have stuff like that up, could take a little bit of a beating, so to speak, tonight. And if you did yard work today, unfortunately, unless your trees have already lost all their leaves, you're probably going to be doing some more tomorrow into Monday after tonight's rain, tonight's wind. A lot of leaves going to be coming down, those that have yet to fall. John White on Facebook, any severe weather threat for us? No. Some wind gusts, a couple strong storms possible, just some breezier, gustier winds, thunder, lightning, very heavy rain, briefly moving through, but no organized severe weather. John is in the forecast. And John White, I believe you live down in the Savannah area, not in North Georgia, but even down there, not as much of a risk of severe weather, but along the I-10 corridor, Gulf Coast from New Orleans, they've already had it. Biloxi and Mobile now currently getting it into the Florida Panhandle. That is where there is some severe weather, again, right along the immediate Gulf Coast. So we'll bring you back hour by hour forecast. And here we go. Right now, already a little bit of rain falling. Down in McDonough, Ryan was saying it's breezy, some rain already falling, and I think that picks up over the next couple of hours. Fairly light, though, through midnight, 1 a.m. Enough to wet the streets. Use the wipers if you're out late this evening. And then the rain gets heavier in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, 2, 3, 4 a.m. There are a few downpours, and where you see the red on this particular map, that is where it may get a little gustier. You may get some briefly gusty winds. For example, going to pause at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, pushing up towards Anderson, South Carolina, south and east of Athens, Putnam into Eatonton County, and then back towards the Augusta metro. That is where winds could be a little bit gustier, and it'll be a similar story as they move through metro Atlanta earlier in the morning. Tanya Belcher, now for Wednesday, I see storm. How bad the storm is going to be for me for Wednesday? Tanya, that's a little bit of a hard question to answer with 100% confidence. The weather pattern is a little tricky yet again, right? Surprise, surprise, as we get into the middle of the week. But what I will say, and I'm going to switch maps here, and we're going to go to the 7-day forecast. And there is a first alert for tomorrow morning, of course, morning storms. And then we're watching Wednesday closely. Showers and thunderstorms back in the forecast. Depending on what time of day they arrive, there could be a couple of strong to severe storms. The risk of severe weather is greater to the 2-hour west. So for Wednesday, it's a first alert. We want you to pay attention to the forecast, keep an eye on the weather, but I don't think there's going to be widespread severe weather at this point, but certainly the risk of a few storms becoming strong to severe there, Tanya Belcher. So keep an eye on the forecast. There is a low risk of severe weather at this point, not zero, but a low risk of severe weather for our Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we are really getting it colder Thursday and Friday with mornings in the mid to upper 30s behind that front. And then afternoons pretty cool to chilly in the mid to upper 50s Thursday, Friday. Back in the low to mid 60s on our Saturday. So Tanya, hopefully that answered the question for you. I think we're going to be much more confident in the exact storm setup Wednesday for us by Monday. So that is certainly something we're going to be watching out for here and in the days to come. On Facebook, Clark Vanessa saying, go Bulldogs. John White asking about the forecast. Again, that risk of severe weather tonight, tomorrow, very low up in North Georgia. Even down in South Georgia, John, where you are, it's fairly low. And then as we get into Wednesday, yes, we're going to be watching for that secondary potential of some strong to maybe severe thunderstorms, though models are trending a little earlier with that arrival. Maybe some early day Wednesday rain and storms that would tend to limit the amount of severe weather, the risk of severe weather a little bit, but it's not zero. Certainly the next day to watch, the next time period to watch, hence the first alert. Just that initial heads up that, hey, the weather could be a little rough at times on our Wednesday, in addition to the rain we have tonight into tomorrow morning. Time now is 8:25. We're actually going to be coming on TV here in just a little bit. Atlanta News First starting at 9 p.m. We'll have that 10 o'clock hour. Also, as rain continues to move in, by 11 p.m., probably a pretty damp Metro Atlanta. We'll have that full forecast coming up in the 11 o'clock half hour as well. I wish you a wonderful evening, and I'll leave you with that 7-day forecast. Have a great night. We're back on TV here in about 35 minutes. You can stream the newscast, get the latest First Alert forecast at atlantanewsfirst.com, also in the news app, the weather app, any place you are watching this stream right now. Have yourself a wonderful evening.